Alright, thank you for joining me, listeners. We're doing it live, as always. Now, I'm taking a much-needed vacation, so I will be out of commission, or out of transmission, for the next 2 weeks or so. But I've managed to slip away and record this. I am at a Civil War reenactment camp. It's kind of like when they do the battles, but we do a whole 3-week thing. It starts off, you're a antebellum landowner, just minding your own business, relaxing, living the good life, enjoying your mortal toil, as only one who's profiting off the manual labor of others truly can. It's not about slavery. It's about culture. It's about states' rights. It's about the right to bring to fruition what God intended. It's about the rights of well, I guess that would be more like human rights, but it's not about that. But anyway, you have mint juleps, you meet other Southerners, you enjoy the bounty of the earth, and enforce the commodification thereof, and then the War of Northern Aggression starts, and then you go into the whole battle reenactment thing. But I've managed to procure a microphone device, and I've got a story just too important to not tell you. From Infowars.com by John Rappaport, April 4th, 2018, 5G wireless, a ridiculous front for global control. Subheadline, one wireless control grid to rule them all. And the picture you can't see it, but it looks so sinister. It's like a satellite with like a red eye, or, like an on button, but it's like, just gross. And it's a ridiculous front for global control. It's not even like a good one. Alright, he says, first 2 quotes to give a bit of background. 5G, these aren't in, okay, whatever. Okay, 5G speed for people who must download a whole season of their favorite show in seconds. It's the next 5th generation of cellular technology, which promises to greatly enhance the speed, coverage, and responsiveness of wireless networks. How fast are we talking about? Think 10 to 100 times speedier than your typical cellular connection, and even faster than anything you can get with a physical fiber optics cable into your house. You'll be able to download a season's worth of Stranger Things in seconds, says CNET.com. Lunatic 5G installation of small transmitters packed close together every few hundred feet. In quotes, the next big thing in cellular technology, 5G, will bring lightning-fast wireless internet and thousands of antenna-topped poles to many neighborhoods where cell towers have long been banned. Wireless companies are asking Congress and state lawmakers to make it easier to install the poles by preempting local zoning laws that often restrict them, particularly near homes. Oh, I see where this is going. We're gonna build like a network of like electricity poles or something. The lobbying efforts have alarmed local officials across the country. They say they need to ensure that their communities do not end up with unsightly poles cluttering sidewalks, roadsides, and the edges of front yards. Or just that, yeah. I mean, I thought it was gonna murder people, but you definitely don't want unsightly things either. Are we still in the 2 quotes? 'Cause let me just scroll down. Okay, so we're not in the 2 He says, let me start with 2 quotes, so there's 1 quote. Whatever. They're also hearing from residents worried about possible long-term health risks. Until now, much of the cell equipment that emits radio frequency energy has been housed on large towers, typically kept hundreds of feet from homes, also harmful to health. The new small cell technology uses far more antennas and transmitters that are smaller and lower powered, but clustered close together and lowered to the ground. The Washington Post. Okay. Alright, so good. I mean, he told us he was going to do it, but that was a good, looks like about half the article there. But let's see. So he says, yeah, until now, much of the cell equipment that emits radio frequency energy has been housed on large towers. Either that or in poor people's neighborhoods, going through their backyards. But, obviously, sacrifices need to be made. Okay, here he goes. I keep hammering on this 5G issue because it contains the blueprint of a future only elite madmen want. That's right. No on 5G. Yes on shutting down net neutrality. Get it straight. We do not want the fastest internet. We want to parcel out internet. This is just going to make it too fast for everybody, and there's going to be no point to the whole paying more thing. Stupid. For the rest of us, it's a catastrophe in the making. I've covered the extreme health dangers of 5G in another article. Here I want to flesh out the hidden agenda. Ew, that sounds gross. Isn't it flush out? Is it flush out or flesh out? I really don't like flesh out. That sounds really gross. Anyway, a few decades ago, a movement was started to create an interconnected power grid for the whole planet. We were told this would be the only way to avoid wasting huge amounts of electricity, and voila, bring all nations and all people into a modern 21st century. That's a weird, that's not really an appropriate way to use voila, but now it's a different story. A classic bait and switch. The bait was the promise of one grid for all. Listeners, I gotta say, I'm feeling a little... I think the young mulatto pool boy who brought me this daiquiri, I think he may have been working for the government, because I feel a little bit tipsy, and, let's focus. But now it's a different story, a classic bait and switch. The bait was the promise of one grid for all, with one and grid capitalized for some reason. The switch is what 5G will bring us. I hate the bait and switch. It's like you get those pop-ups and it's like, young singles in your area, click here. And it's like, they're not in my area. Well, am I going to drive out to Oxnard? Give me a break. They were young, though. I will say that. They delivered on that. 100 billion or more new devices online, all connected to the internet and the cloud. What could be more wasteful? What could be more ridiculous? This is the opposite of sane energy use. Who really cares whether his 5G connected refrigerator keeps track of the food items inside it and orders new items when their supply dwindles? They can do that? I mean, that sounds kind of cool, to be honest, but who has to have a 5G driverless car that takes him to work? Well, look, I mean, I've railed against driverless cars in the past, but now that I got a little bit of CIA truth juice in me, I don't know, sounds kind of sweet. Who must have a 5G stove that senses what is being cooked and sets the temperature for 4 minutes? Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I hope it would be able to dial that up or down depending on the situation. Who lives and who dies if a washing machine doesn't measure how much soap is stored inside and doesn't order new soap? Who is demanding 100 devices in his home that spy on him and record his actions? Oh, okay. I get it. I get what they were doing. It's like you're following along and you might think it's cool, but like it means that they're spying on you. So, in the end, it's not cool. With 5G, the ultimate goal is every device in every home that uses energy will be, quote, its own computer, end quote, and the planetary grid will connect all these devices to a monitoring and regulating energy authority. Okay, first of all, just in case you are going to say I left it out, they did not attribute that quote to anyone, but, and the planetary grid will connect all these devices to a monitoring and regulating energy authority? This is not the world I want to leave for my children. Or they're going to give it some evil name too, I'm sure, like the Electric Company. Or, maybe they don't even care anymore. They're just going to really go for it and just call it like Program of Global Eugenics. PG&E, Program of Global Eugenics. With 5G, the ultimate goal... Okay, we did that. as Patrick Wood details in his classic Technocracy Rising, that Worldwide Energy Authority was the dream of men who launched the technocracy movement in America in the 1930s. They set out the key requirements, which weren't technically possible then, but are quite doable now. Wasn't possible before, but doable now. Kinda like the head cheerleader after she's had her third kid and really is just looking for stability and wants to settle down. Continuous real-time measuring of both energy production and energy use from one end of the planet to the other. I don't need anyone measuring my energy production. Also, one end of the planet to the other. What are these people, a bunch of flat earthers? Oh, wait a minute. Ooh, maybe the liberal elite just let one of their secrets slip. Maybe it is a flat earth we're living on. Shit, I ain't never been to space. So that both energy production and energy consumption could be controlled. Quote, for the good of all, end quote, of course. Again, we're not sure where that is true that's attributed to, but 5G is the technology for making this happen. Quote, here comes a big one. We're promising a stunning long-range future of automatic homes where everything is done for you. But really, that's the cover story. Ultimately, we want to be able to measure every unit of energy used by every device in every home. Oh, God, it's like they're monitoring all my energy usage. And through AI, regulate how much energy we will let every individual consume moment to moment. We control energy. We are the energy masters. If you want to run and operate and dominate the world, you control its energy, end quote. God, it's so sick that they're just coming right out and saying it like that. Who is they? I don't know who they is. It doesn't say. That quote is not attributed to anyone. But look, obviously someone's saying that, or else it wouldn't be in quotes. And the fact that someone's saying it, yeah, of course, they're not gonna, they probably said it, in the shadows, with one of those voice changer things on the news. They don't want you to know. Of course. But somebody said it. Terms and projects like smart grid, smart meters, sustainability. Oh, God, that's the worst one. Agenda 21. That one sounds kind of cool. Smart cities, climate change. Pfft, debunked. All this technocratic planning and justification for rule through energy. With rule and energy capitalized. Through is not capitalized. I mean, usually it's more like the length of the word that you use to determine whether it should be capitalized. If it's to or a, you don't need to capitalize it. Through, standing at the solid, what is that? 7 letters? 7 letters. Actually more than rule or energy. I would say through deserves to be capitalized there. I'm just saying. Deep State Cowboy at AWOL.com. Editing needs. Hit me up. Yeah, that felt wrong. Don't hit me up. Just send me an email. The beginning of an actual rational plan for energy would start this way. Dump 5G. Boom! Nice. Dump that bitch. 5G ain't good for you anyway. What has 5G done for you lately? Dump the whole plan of installing small transmitter cells on buildings and homes and trees and lampposts and fences all over the planet. Dump it. Dump that. Don't bring 100 billion new devices online. That's what I'm saying. Aside from the extreme health dangers, it's ridiculously expensive. It's on the order of saying we need 1,000-foot robots standing on sidewalks washing the windows of office buildings.
It would help if you broke down some...
Look, he just said it's on the order of saying we need 1,000-foot robots washing windows. So, that you don't need the exact number, whatever. I'm sure he'll do the math if you email him, but, do you really need to know the exact number? Here's the thing. Do you think it's a good idea to have 1,000-foot robots washing windows? Okay, well, this gentleman says it's the same thing. So, there you go. Don't do it. if some movie star wants to install 30 generators on his property and have engineers build him an automatic home where he can sit back, flip a switch, and have 3 androids carry him into his bathtub and wash him and dry him, fine. Well, I don't think that's fine, personally. Well, I guess it depends on the situation. I mean, are they lady robots or dudes? Because if it's ladies, it's cool. But if they're dudes, absolutely not. And I know they're robots, so they don't necessarily need to conform to the same binary gender scheme we have, but look, you know what I'm getting at. Do they have robot weenies? But planning a smart city? Who voted for that? Who gave informed consent? Nobody. That's right. That's right. I like to keep my government small. But when a company wants to make a decision, I want everybody to vote on it. I believe in power to the people. Well, not like anything weird, like just like popular vote wins presidency. I'm talking about like, you know, like electoral college things. That's working out good. It's basically a direct representation of the people's voice, although slightly skewed conservative, so sounds good to moi. Ew, gross, why'd I say that? I don't know. There's all these goddamn foreigners around me. A global energy authority, of course, is going to decide that a small African country needs to be given much more energy, while Germany or France or the US will have to sacrifice energy for the cause of social justice. I mean, of course, I don't need anything more explaining that. But this is yet another con, because you won't see government cleaning up the contaminated water supplies of that African country, or installing modern sanitation, or curtailing the forced movement of populations into poverty-stricken cities, or reclaiming vast farmland stolen by mega corporations and giving that land back to local farmers. No, look, he's right. I mean, is it a bit presumptuous to lay out as if it were fact exactly what quote unquote will happen if this occurs? That definitely we will be diverting more resources to Africa. I mean, look at the history of America. Where does like 80% of our money go? Bullshit African shit. There's a bunch of giving like Africans condoms and shit, guys. That's where our money's going. That's why you can't feed your child. That's why you can't afford health care. That's why you're not living in the house that you want. African aid bullshit. Or wherever, Honduras or some fucking shithole I've never heard of. The whole hidden purpose of an energy authority is control. Exactly. Although I don't know if I would call it a hidden purpose. Also, I don't know if I would capitalize energy and authority, but look, I'm not the author. I don't have any of my diatribes picked up by Infowars.com. So, yeah, soak up the success, Mr. Rappaport. Soak it up. You just capitalize whatever the fuck you want. It's fucking terrible. Ugh.
If you really think this, yeah,
shut the fuck up. Just shut up. That's all it takes. Is how to shut down a liberal. And because the authority is globalist and technocratic, it aims to lower energy use in industrial nations and help wreck their economies, making it much easier to move in and take over those countries. Exactly. Again, he's just saying it like it's a fact. Why? Because it's a fucking fact. Because it's a fact. Having said all this, there are gaps in our knowledge about 5G. Oh, it doesn't sound like you've got any, but go on. For example, who in his right mind would propose a wireless system that relies on many, many, many cells/transmitters placed closely to each other all over the world? Okay. I gotcha. I thought he was gonna, admit, possible shortcomings of his omniscience, but no, he's just who in their right mind? It's rhetoric, you know what I'm saying? It's rhetorical. Like, who in the right point is like, you're out of your mind if you do that. You guys get that? Okay, stay with me. This system would be far more vulnerable to physical disruption than the present 4G. Boom. Exactly. Now, is it set up like a Christmas lights display where, one goes out and it screws up the whole thing? I don't know. He seems to be acting as if it is, so yeah, I think it probably is. And by probably, I mean absolutely. And by think, I mean no. I know it absolutely is like that. You can find many articles that claim the U.S. military must have 5G for their most advanced planes and for their developing AI-controlled weapons. How does that work? Where will all the transmitter/cells be placed on the ground and in the air? Yeah, the same places you were already talking about placing them? I don't know. Shut up. Something is missing here. Is there another version of 5G we're not being told about? Ooh, I wonder. Is geoengineering of the atmosphere? I said geoengineering, but it sounded like I said geoengineering. You know what that is? That's my subconscious letting me know, hey, watch out. That's an angel on my shoulder just whispering, hey, don't forget about the Jews. Is geoengineering of the atmosphere the means for tuning up space so 5G signals can be passed along without cells/transmitters? Oh shit. So he's saying the way they get around having all those cells on the ground is that's why they're geoengineering the atmosphere. So they're basically turning the sky into a bunch of little relay nodes like you're gonna have at your house. Wow. I mean, I never would have saw that coming. This guy's good. Part of the U.S. obsession to bring 5G online quickly stems from competition with China. I refuse to pronounce it correctly, which at the moment is in the lead on developing and exporting the technology. Quote, if China has it, we have to have it sooner and better, end quote. This attitude okay, so again, just a random quote, not attributed to anyone. This attitude sidesteps the issue of why we must have 5G in the first place. Exactly.
Well, I'm not saying this is the actual end-all be-all, but just based on what you've said, you've set up a situation in which China says they have to have it, and we have to best China, so, I mean, doesn't that answer your question?
I don't know. Let me, answer your question with a question. Do your parents know you're gay? Yes or no? I forgot that part. It's gotta be, hold on. Yes or no question. You can only answer yes or no. Do your parents know you're gay? Yeah. That is a logical conundrum that I lifted from, the dialogues of Plato. He uses that to argue for, solipsism? I don't know. There's like some caves, there's some shadows, whatever. And now there are reports that the U.S. government is considering a plan to build the whole 5G network itself, rather than leaving the job to corporations. Of course, a few favored companies, like Google, would be chosen by the government in a non-bid situation to provide very significant help. Very in all caps. That's right. Is that editorializing? Well, I mean, did he edit the piece before he uploaded it? So, you should be used to it. If such a plan were to launch, we would have a very tight club at the top of the communications and energy pyramid. Or, according to Michelle Obama, the energy web or whatever. It's like all you know what I'm talking about. And that club would maximize 5G to expand already saturated surveillance of populations. Exactly. So he's saying, this is what would happen. This is exactly what would happen. And then they would maximize 5G to expand what is objectively already saturated surveillance.
Well, if it's already saturated, isn't that the best?
You know what? God damn it. Why do I invite you here? So yeah, I mean, look, it's all right here. This is exactly what they would do. So now you know. He ends with, wouldn't you? If you had nothing better to do than control the world? Yeah, I would definitely do that. I mean, no, I wouldn't do that. I'm one of the people. Absolutely. Look, you guys and gals. Look, I can do PC stuff. Look, you guys and gals. And middle sex or whatever. I'm just like you. I mean, not the middle sex people or the women, but I am similar to you in the sense that I also have down-home values, I guess. I don't know. I am not paid a handsome salary to put out quote-unquote propaganda. Absolutely not. I do this because I want to connect with the people. But never physically. I do not want to touch you. I do not want to be in your vicinity. But I want to put things on the internet that you can listen to. And that's because I love the working man. And you can put that in your old-timey farmers, everyman, corncob pipe and smoke it. Red pill, out.